Trust me when I say that it doesn't want to be carrying around excess body fat. I mean, your default factory setting is lean and healthy. In this video, I'm going to give you a proven step-by-step plan on how to finally lose all your stubborn fat that's been living rent-free in your body all this time. And I want you to pay close attention to one of the things I'm going to ask you to eliminate because it might just be the answer you've been looking for. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. It really helps support my channel. Alright, let's get into it. First things first, you need to get rid of the mentality that you can somehow spot treat yourself. That if you just do 100 sit-ups every day, it's gonna melt your fat away and you're eventually gonna see your abs. And if you've done more sit-ups than you can imagine, and I don't know, other ab exercises out there, but you're still rocking that stubborn spare tire around your stomach, you already know that to be true. Instead, you want to look at exercise as a way to build and maintain muscle. That's why you'll get a way better ROI if you focus on compound movements like squat, deadlifts, pull-ups, and press. Instead of wasting your time doing bicep curls, for example, where you're focusing on a muscle literally the size of an orange. I don't remember the last time I did bicep curls, and I think my biceps look okay. Instead, I do at least 30 pull-ups every day. It engages my shoulders, my lats, a lot of the back muscles, my core, and my biceps. That's a better ROI in my opinion. And I've talked a lot about the importance of building and maintaining muscle in my recent videos because muscle is the key driver of your metabolism. In terms of fat loss, the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn at rest, literally while doing nothing. It's your metabolic currency. And for all the females watching this that are scared of lifting, don't worry, you're not going to transform into the Incredible Hulk. The reality is you're going to look a lot better, you're going to feel better, you're going to be smaller, which means that your clothes are going to fit better, and you're just going to have a way better body composition. Next, stop majoring in the minor. As the saying goes, you can't outrun a bad diet. There's really no way around this. Like 80% of your body composition is determined by what you eat. So you need to get yourself on a proper baseline diet that prioritizes protein. I'm talking specifically about animal protein because it's the most bioavailable form of protein, which contains all the essential amino acids to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Not all protein are created equal. Again, this is why it's a fool's errand to do 100 sit-ups every day to burn belly fat because you're simply focusing on the small part of the 20% of the equation when you can get a way better return if you focus on the 80%. Focusing on this small part is the definition of majoring in the minor. This also explains why you see the same people at the gym. They work out every day, they have the right intention, but they look the same. What's worse is they start rocking that skinny fat look if all they do is cardio or these overly strenuous group fitness classes, which is all the rage today. Now, there's always going to be a never-ending debate on which diet is the best for weight loss and getting rid of all your unwanted body fat. It's almost become a religion. So this isn't about the minutia of specific diets out there. Although I do lean more towards an animal-based diet, again, because of those essential amino acids, while incorporating plants that your body tolerates. But feel free to experiment for yourself, but whatever diet you end up following needs to promote metabolic flexibility. Otherwise, whatever initial result you end up getting won't be sustainable long-term. Every diet study has proven that. What is metabolic flexibility? Metabolic flexibility is where your body is easily able to tap into your fat stores and burn it for energy in between meals. That's it. That is the secret to fat loss. As a quick review, you achieve metabolic flexibility by following a diet that keeps the storing hormone insulin moderated. A lot of experts consider insulin to be the master hormone because it's the hormone that controls your body weight. You only want a pulsatile insulin response throughout the day. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, every time you eat, insulin goes up. If your insulin levels are high, you cannot access your body fat and burn it for energy. You just can't. It gets locked away, and insulin is the key. And out of all three macronutrients, carbs, specifically refined carbs and sugar, spike the hormone insulin the most. Protein and fat also spike insulin, but it's more of a phase 1 response, and definitely not to the extent that refined carbs and sugar does. Protein and fat also trigger your natural satiety hormones, so that protects you from overeating. Protein specifically is also the most satiating macronutrient, and it's also got its thermic effect going for it. I mean, 20 to 30% of the calories from protein are spent just digesting it. So if you eat 100 calories of steak, for example, your body really only absorbs 70 to 80 calories of it. Plus, steak is also delicious. That's why not all calories are created equal. Whereas, if you open a family bag of chips, you can just keep eating it. Next thing you know, you're staring down at the bottom of this family-sized bag. Hey, maybe you are a family. Listen, I'm not saying that carbs are bad. I've definitely relaxed my stance on this over the years because a lot of long-lived societies out there have existed primarily on carbs like the Katavans and the Okinawans. It's the ultra-processed, highly palatable, industrial seed oil-laced carbs I'm really talking about here. It's not uncommon, for example, for the average American or somebody who's following a Western diet to consume a mind-blowing 500 to 600 grams of these fat-promoting ultra-processed carbs daily. They're usually foods that you'll find at the center aisle of grocery stores. They usually come in some sort of packaging with a really long shelf life. Some of these foods don't even expire. I mean, here's a scary picture of fast food that's 10 years old. There's no mold. It's really only the wrapping paper that looks old. That's kind of scary. Now, I could name a bunch of foods that you should eat. There's obviously a hierarchy, like there's a list of priorities you need to do. But if we're talking about the 80-20 principle, one of the biggest levers you can pull is to eliminate industrial seed oils from your diet. Just below that would be to eliminate sugars and liquid calories. And that's saying a lot. Industrial seed oils are also more commonly known as vegetable oils. So I'm talking about canola, corn, soybean, sunflower, safflower, or really anything that identifies as vegetable oil. They're just insidious oils that you'll find everywhere. For starters, repeatedly heated industrial seed oils are associated with high blood pressure, heart disease, and intestinal and liver damage, as well as insulin resistance. And did you know that as much as 20% of the calories in the standard American diet come from soybean alone? This stuff is everywhere. I'm telling you, that's why it's so important to read labels. You can bet that 99% of fast food joints and even fancy restaurants use this stuff to deep fry and pan fry their products. They heat and reheat the same rancid oil to cut costs because seed oils are dirt cheap. They actually used to be considered toxic waste in the early 1900s until food manufacturers discovered a way to recycle them. If you go to your local grocery store, you'll see that 60 to 70% of all processed, packaged, and frozen foods contain one or more of these insidious health destroyers. You can even find it in baby formula. Healthy plant-based meat and dairy substitutes are often laced with them. When you ingest refined seed oils, they're not burnt for fuel the way other fat generally are because of their unnatural makeup. Instead, their similarity to natural fat molecules confuses the body because it's an evolutionary mismatch. The body, being confused, then integrates them into healthy fat cells. Because of that, they're very hard to burn for energy and can greatly hinder your overall ability to burn stored body fat over time. So if you have problem areas that just won't seem to go away, like your belly fat, the cellular dysfunction caused by vegetable oils is most likely one of the biggest causes. According to some experts, they're basically free radicals in a bottle. Literally no different than eating radiation. Like if you've ever worked at any restaurant, you'll know that they heat and reheat the same rancid oil for days until it turns into this nasty dark brown color. So get rid of them and get rid of sugars. If you do that, you're 80% of your way to reacquiring the fat-burning metabolism you're born with, which will then enable you to become metabolically flexible. You're not fighting this uphill battle of yo-yo dieting anymore. You actually have a chance, which will then enable you to go longer without eating. In doing so, you don't have hunger anymore being the main driver of your day. Next, you need to limit your alcohol consumption if you want to get rid of belly fat. I mean, I dare you to find a study that connects alcohol to optimal health. And any study that you do find can really only establish correlation, but not causation. That's tortured data. However, you won't find a hard time finding studies connecting alcohol consumption to abdominal obesity. I mean, they don't call it a beer belly for nothing. There's also this thing called fatty liver disease. A good friend of mine is on a no alcohol challenge, and after just 2 months, he's lost 13 pounds of fat without changing anything else from his lifestyle. Alcohol is a social lubricant. I get it. I bartended for years. But here's why it's so insidious when it comes to sabotaging your fat loss goals. You are literally poisoning your body just enough when you drink alcohol. I mean, that's why you get the buzz. Alcohol in the form of ethanol, which is technically the fourth macronutrient, is also known as the first to burn calories because your body has to prioritize metabolizing the poison you just ingested, which then pauses the burning of all other calories. So if you eat and drink at the same time, your body has to prioritize metabolizing the alcohol first so you don't die. which then means the calories from food immediately get stored as body fat, and more likely than not, it gets stored in your butt, thighs, and belly. We also don't make the best food decisions when alcohol is involved. Nobody craves hard-boiled eggs when they're drunk. The next logical step late night is usually fast food because it's still open. And I just told you why you should never eat fast food. Listen, I'm not saying that you should never drink. A handful of times every year, you're okay. And when you do decide to indulge, don't drink beer. It's basically liquid bread. It's also estrogenic. Instead, go for hard liquor like vodka or tequila. If you like wine, drink dry red wine because it has the least amount of sugar. Next, manage your stress levels. Stress is just a part of life. So you just want to do your best to manage it as best as you can, because your body treats all types of stress the same way. Whether it's stress from work, financial problems, a bad relationship, or an overly strenuous exercise program, your body responds the same way. It triggers the release of cortisol, which is your fight or flight response hormone. One of its main jobs is to flood your body with glucose so you have usable energy to fight or flight. When you exercise, you have a way to burn off all that extra glucose in your system. Again, just make sure that it's not overly strenuous. But if you're constantly stressed with no way to burn it off, all that extra glucose gets stored specifically around your belly. That's why you see a lot of overly stressed people rocking a pear-shaped body. One of the best ways to manage stress is actually my next tip. Go for a walk outside. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I'm a big proponent of walking at least 10,000 steps a day for two reasons. Number one, it forces you to move your body and you avoid prolonged periods where you're completely sedentary. I don't think you need me to tell you that living a sedentary lifestyle and obesity go hand in hand. And nothing shuts down your fat-burning metabolism faster than prolonged periods of stillness. Number two, walking basically guarantees to keep you below your maximum aerobic heart rate, which is the fat-burning zone. It's where your body is mainly burning fatty acids for energy. It's 180 minus your age in beats per minute, in case you're wondering. Yes, walking doesn't burn as many calories as running, but rest assured, the energy you do end up using is coming from fat. You can also amplify the stress-lowering benefits if you go for a walk somewhere in nature. This is called forest bathing. There's also a dose-response relationship, which means the more you do it, the better. And lastly, one of my favorite tips to give, practice time-restricted eating. In case you didn't know, body fat is stored energy waiting to be used. Think of it as granola bars or batteries strapped all over your body. And I mentioned earlier that every time you eat, insulin goes up. High insulin blocks fat burning. It puts your body in fat storing mode. The good thing is that the reverse is also true. Every time you don't eat, insulin goes back down to baseline and your body now shifts into fat burning mode. Again, this is why it's so important to keep insulin and cortisol pulsatile and not just be high all day. If you want to lose your unwanted body fat, you want to spend as much time in fat burning mode. The most logical way to do that is to just take a break from eating. The longer you go, the better. You're simply tapping into your built-in fat-burning mechanism when you don't eat. Your body also activates a cellular repair process called autophagy. My point here is that your body is super smart. Like, it knows what to do. Trust me when I say that it doesn't want to be carrying around excess body fat. I mean, your default factory setting is lean and healthy. The next question then becomes, how and what are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. This is also where a lot of people go wrong. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I was finally able to get rid of all my stubborn fat without depriving myself of my favorite foods or spending countless hours doing cardio. It's a simple and proven 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals like you, and it's also the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. Hey, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And feel free to comment below if you have any questions about this video. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Virtual high five.